ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡೋಣ.
Please.
ಅಜ್ಞಾನತಿಮಿರಾಂಧಸ್ಯ ಜ್ಞಾನಾಂಜನಶಲಾಕಯ ಚಕ್ಷುರುನ್ಮೀಲಿತಂ ಯೇನ ತಸ್ಮೈ ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರವೇ ನಮಃ. A very good afternoon to everyone. Today we are gathered here for a very, very good cause. We are joining a webinar, Adarsh Prajna, a webinar series which aims to demystify education. From the past, maybe from Vedic period till date, our Indian ethos has given a lot of things for our education. Indian ethos has made us to blend tradition and modern approaches. Indian ethos has created more inclusive, holistic, effective education system. In this regard, this Adarsh Prajna is a small step towards effective education system. In the Indian education system, every time it was told, Shikshana, Jnana, Moksha. Shikshana, education, Jnana is the knowledge, and Moksha is the wisdom, which means that everyone who is going to be educated should gain the knowledge, and that knowledge should leads to the wisdom. The concept of Adarsh Prajna is to re-understand this concept of Indian ethos. Adarsh Group of Institution began its journey in 1971. A small school started by Sri Veereshananda today has grown into a famous popular colleges starting from nursery to MBA. The college is also ISO certified, UGC, AICTE approved, and also awarded grade A by NAC. Thank you all listening to this small introduction. Now I request our principal, Dr. Prashant, to do the welcome address. Thank you. Prashant sir.
Namaste.
Please
Namaste.
unmute.
Namaste. Namaste, Swamiji. Jai Ramakrishna.
Namaste. Jai Ramakrishna.
Some technical glitch. I'm extremely sorry for that. This is I'm really welcome you all for a very, very special webinar. And I take it as a blessing that today we have His Highness Sri Veereshananda Maharaj, who is addressing all of us in this webinar series. To set the context, Adarsh Prajna is a very, very special webinar series aimed at building the value-based education in the society. We always, as an education institution, we always feel that it is our duty to incorporate and enhance values, morals, ethics in the society, which helps in building and strengthening the youth and thereby building a robust country. Swamiji, he really gave his consent and he actually said, it's a very good cause that we have been doing. And he does all for this wonderful program. First of all, I would like to welcome Swamiji, His Highness Sri Veereshananda Maharaj to this webinar series. A very, very hearty ನಿಮಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಪರವಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಆತ್ಮೀಯವಾದ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನ ಕೋರ್ತೀನಿ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ. I also would like to welcome our Honorable Sri Padamraj Mehta sir and our Honorable Secretary Sri Jitendra Mardia sir to this program. I would like to welcome all the office bearers of Adarsh Vidya Sangh, members of Managing Committee, life members of Adarsh Vidya Sangh. I would like to welcome the members of AVS and all the principals of our sister concerns and all the team members of the sister concerns. I'd like to welcome all our teaching, non-teaching staff members of PU College, Degree College, and all the team members of Adarsh Group of Institutions. Very importantly, I would like to welcome all our students and parents for this particular program. This program is there in Zoom and it is being even broadcasted through YouTube channel. I'd like to welcome all the public, the participants who are all in Zoom and even in the YouTube channel. I would like to welcome all the authorities who have helped us, especially from Ramakrishna Ashram and Tumkur and the Ramakrishna Ashram, the local Ramakrishna Ashram people who have helped us, and all the back-end support of Ramakrishna Ashram people. A very, very hearty welcome to all of them. This program is specially to all our students, parents, and to the public at large. I would like to welcome every one of them. Finally, I would like to welcome all the good hearts who have assembled here for this such an enriching program. I seek the blessings of Swamiji Veereshananda Maharaj. Sir, Swamiji, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಮೇಲೂ ಇರಬೇಕು. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದದೊಂದಿಗೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್ ಇದು ಮೊದಲನೇ ಸೀರೀಸ್ ಇದು. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದದೊಂದಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನ ಆರಂಭಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಮೇಲೆ, ಎಲ್ಲರ ಮೇಲೂ, ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಮೇಲೆ, ದೇಶದ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ನಾನು ಈ ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಭಾಷಣವನ್ನು ಮುಗಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಜೈ ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಪ್ರಶಾಂತ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ.
ನಮಸ್ತೆ.
ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ, ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ತಮಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಕೋರ್ತಾ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಪ್ರಶಾಂತ್ ಅವರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಕೋರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಹಾಗೆ we have some delegates from different states. I would like to welcome all of them too to this webinar series. Now it's my pleasure to invite Sri Ravi Kiran for introducing Swamiji. It is actually not necessary, but as a practice, we are just having this one just to introduce Swamiji. I request Ravi Kiran sir.
Thank you, sir. Agajanana Padmarkam Gajanana Maharnisham Anekadantam Bhaktanam Ekadantam Upasmahe. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Akhanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Mena Characharam Tatpadam Dashitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಪರಮ ಪೂಜ್ಯ ಗುರುಗಳು ಹಾಗೂ ಆದರ್ಶ ಪ್ರಜ್ಞಾ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ ಮಾಲಿಕೆಗಳ ಉದ್ಘಾಟನಾ ಸಮಾರಂಭದ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭಿಕ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸಕರು, ವಿಶೇಷ ಆಹ್ವಾನಿತರು ಆಗಿರುವ ಶ್ರೀ 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 ವೀರೇಶಾನಂದ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ ಸ್ವಾಮಿಗಳ ಚರಣಾರವಿಂದಗಳಿಗೆ ಭಕ್ತಿಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ನಮಸ್ಕರಿಸುತ್ತಾ, ಪೂಜ್ಯರ ಸಂಕ್ಷಿಪ್ತ ಪರಿಚಯವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡುವಂತಹ ಸೌಭಾಗ್ಯ ಇಂದು ನನ್ನದಾಗಿದೆ ಎಂದು ಹೇಳುತ್ತಾ ಪರಿಚಯವನ್ನ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಪರಮ ಪೂಜ್ಯ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ Veereshananda Saraswati is the head of Ramakrishna Vivekananda Ashram Tumkur. He has done his schooling in Bangalore and has obtained Bachelor of Engineering from University of Mysore. Inspired by the teachings of Swami Vivekananda, he dedicated his life to the service of humanity. Swamiji started Ramakrishna Vivekananda Ashram in 1992 and he renounced and become monk of Ramakrishna movement in 1993. He has been guiding students, teachers, and the youth through lectures and orientation courses. So far, more than 1 lakh students, teachers, and youth are benefited. Hundreds of poor women and slum dwellers have been given food, clothing, and free medical aid by Swamiji. A center for youth under his guidance is enabling the youth to achieve moral, cultural, and spiritual excellence. He has established many satsang kendras in different places to guide the household devotees to fulfill their spiritual aspirations. In July 2004, Swamiji attended the World Parliament of Religions at Barcelona in Spain and delivered a lecture on how to minimize the religiously motivated violence. He also visited Italy, France, Germany, and conducted meditation camps and personality molding courses. In 2006, Swamiji visited Spain, Italy, and Switzerland on a spiritual mission and addressed the students and faculty in various universities and conducted meditation camps and satsanga. The main emphasis was on global peace. In July 2007, Universal Peace Foundation USA conferred the title Ambassador of Peace at Chennai in recognition of Swamiji's human service activities for the upliftment and progress of slum dwellers and rural youth. ಇಂತಹ ಪರಮ ಪೂಜ್ಯರ ಸಾಧನೆಯ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಮಜಲನ್ನ ನಾನು ಈಗ ಪರಿಚಯಿಸಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಶ್ರೀಯುತರು ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿರುವಂತಹ ವಿಶೇಷ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳು ಬಹಳಷ್ಟಿವೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಉಲ್ಲೇಖಿಸಲು ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಕೋಲ್ಕತ್ತಾ ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಮಿಷನ್ ಬೇಲೂರು ಮಠದಲ್ಲಿ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಸಮ್ಮೇಳನದ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ ಮಾಲಿಕೆ, 4ನೇ ವಿಶ್ವ ಧರ್ಮ ಸಮ್ಮೇಳನ 2004 ಜುಲೈನಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪೇನ್ ದೇಶದ ಬಾರ್ಸಿಲೋನಾ ನಗರದಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆದಂಥದ್ದು. ಇಟಲಿ ದೇಶದ ಟೂರಿನ್ ನಗರದಲ್ಲಿ 2006 ಮತ್ತು 2012ರಲ್ಲಿ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಹಬ್ಬದ ವಿಶೇಷ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ, ಇಟಲಿ ದೇಶದ ಟ್ಯೂರಿನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಜಿನೋವಾ ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯದಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಶೇಷ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ, ಅಮೆರಿಕದ ಅಕ್ಕ ಸಮ್ಮೇಳನದಲ್ಲಿ 2012 ಸೆಪ್ಟೆಂಬರ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಶೇಷ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ, ಕೊರಿಯಾ ದೇಶದ ಸಿಯೋಲ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ನಾಯಕತ್ವ ತರಬೇತಿ ಶಿಬಿರ, ಇಟಲಿ ದೇಶದ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದರ 155ನೇ ಜನ್ಮದಿನೋತ್ಸವ ಮತ್ತು ಶ್ರೀ ಲಲಿತಾ ವಿಗ್ರಹ ಪ್ರತಿಷ್ಠಾಪನೆ, ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಸುಮಾರು 60 ಎಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಕಾಲೇಜುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಶೇಷ ಪ್ರವಚನ, ಶ್ರೀ ಧರ್ಮಸ್ಥಳ ಮಂಜುನಾಥೇಶ್ವರ ಟ್ರಸ್ಟ್ ಅಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ವಧರ್ಮ ಸಮ್ಮೇಳನ, ಹೀಗೆ 10 ಹಲವಾರು. ಇದಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲದೆ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರು ಅತ್ಯಂತ ವಿಶಿಷ್ಟವಾದ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳಿಗೆ ಅಡಿಗಲ್ ನೆಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವುಗಳೆಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿ ದೇವೋಭವ ಎನ್ನುವಂಥ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ. ಕಳೆದ 25 ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ 10 ಲಕ್ಷಕ್ಕೂ ಅಧಿಕ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸವನ್ನು ನೀಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ದೇವೋಭವ ಎನ್ನುವಂಥ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಅಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ 25 ವರ್ಷಗಳಲ್ಲಿ 1 ಲಕ್ಷಕ್ಕೂ ಅಧಿಕ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರಿಗೆ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸಗಳನ್ನು ನೀಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ದೀನ ದೇವೋಭವ ಎನ್ನುವಂತಹ ವಿಶಿಷ್ಟವಾದ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿರುವಂತಹ ಶ್ರೀಯುತರು ಶ್ರೀಮಾತೆ ಶ್ರೀ ಶಾರದಾದೇವಿಯವರ ಜನ್ಮದಿನದ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನ ಜೀವಂತ ದುರ್ಗಾ ಪೂಜೆ ಎಂದು ಆಚರಿಸಿ ಕೊಡಗೇರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಸಿಸುವ ರಸ್ತೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಭಿಕ್ಷೆ ಬೇಡುವ ಅಶಕ್ತ ತಾಯಂದಿರನ್ನ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ ಶಾರದಾದೇವಿ ಎಂದೇ ಪೂಜಿಸಿ ವಸ್ತ್ರದಾನ, ಧಾನ್ಯದಾನ, ಅನ್ನದಾನಗಳಿಂದ ಸತ್ಕರಿಸಲಾಗುತ್ತಿದೆ. ಕಳೆದ 20 ವರ್ಷಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮಾರು 8,000 ಅಶಕ್ತ ತಾಯಂದಿರು ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅನುಕೂಲ ಪಡೆದುಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿ ವೇತನ ಎನ್ನುವಂತಹ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಆರ್ಥಿಕವಾಗಿ ದುರ್ಬಲ ಆಗಿರುವ ದಲಿತ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿ ವೇತನವನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇದಲ್ಲದೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಯಂಗ್ ಜನರೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಪರ್ಧಾತ್ಮಕ ಲಿಖಿತ ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಅವರನ್ನ ಉತ್ತೇಜಿಸುವುದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ 1992ರಿಂದ ಸುಮಾರು 1.6 ಲಕ್ಷ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿಗೆ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವ ನಿರ್ಮಾಣ ಪೂರಕವಾದ ಪುಸ್ತಕವನ್ನು ಆಧರಿಸಿ ಸ್ಪರ್ಧಾತ್ಮಕ ಲಿಖಿತ ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆಗಳನ್ನ ನೆರವೇರಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಂತಹ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರದು ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯ ಕೃಷಿಯಲ್ಲೂ ತಮ್ಮನ್ನು ತೊಡಗಿಸಿಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ವಿವೇಕ ದೀಪ್ತಿ ಎಂಬ ದ್ವೈಮಾಸಿಕ ಪತ್ರಿಕೆಗೆ ಸಂಪಾದಕರಾಗಿ ಶ್ರಮಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರ ವಿರಚಿತ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದ ಮತ್ತು ಮಾನವ ಅಭ್ಯುದಯ ಎಂಬ ಪುಸ್ತಕವನ್ನ ತುಮಕೂರು ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾನಿಲಯ ಪ್ರಕಟಿಸಿದೆ. ತುಮಕೂರಿನ ಆಶ್ರಮದಿಂದ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರು ಹಾಡಿದಂತಹ ಭಗವತ್ಪಾದರ ಭಕ್ತಿಸುದೆ ಎಂಬ ಧ್ವನಸುರುಳಿ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆಗೊಂಡಿದೆ. ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನ ಗೋಖಲೆ ಸಾರ್ವಜನಿಕ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಮತ್ತು ತುಮಕೂರಿನ ಶ್ರೀ ಸಿದ್ಧಾರ್ಥ ವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯದಲ್ಲಿ ರೇಡಿಯೋ ಸಿದ್ಧಾರ್ಥ ಎಂಬ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ನೀಡುತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ದೂರದರ್ಶನ ಚಂದನವಾಹಿನಿ, ಜೀವನ ದರ್ಶನ, ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನ ಹಾಗೂ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನ ಆಕಾಶವಾಣಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಶೇಷ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳನ್ನ ನಡೆಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಂತಹ ಅನನ್ಯ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳನ್ನು ನಡೆಸುತ್ತಿರುವಂತಹ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಸಂದ ಗೌರವಗಳು ಅಪಾರ. ಅಂಥವುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಪ್ರಮುಖವಾದದ್ದು ತುಮಕೂರು ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯದ ಗೌರವ ಡಾಕ್ಟರೇಟ್ ಮತ್ತು ಮಂಗಳೂರಿನ ಕೆನರಾ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಿಂದ ಏರಿಯಾ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ. ಇಂತಹ ವಿವಿಧ ರತ್ನದಂತಹ ಕೈಂಕರ್ಯಗಳ ಕನಿಯನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದೊಡನೆ ನನಗೆ ನೆನಪಾಗ್ತಿರುವಂತದ್ದು, ಎನಿತು ಜೀವದಲ್ಲಿ ಎನಿತು ಜೀವರಿಗೆ ಎನಿತು ನಾವು ಋಣಿಯೋ, ತಿರುಗಿ ನೋಡಿದರೆ ಬಾಳು ಎಂಬುದು ಗುಣದ ರತ್ನ ಗಣಿಯೋ. ಇಂತಹ ಮಹಾ ಚೈತನ್ಯ, ಮಹಾನ್ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ, ಶಕ್ತಿ ಇಂದು ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ತಮ್ಮ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸದ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಸುಧೆಯಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಧನ್ಯರಾಗಿ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದ್ ಮೂಲಕ ಡಿ.ವಿ.ಜಿ. ಅವರು ಒಂದು ಮಾತನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಅನುಭವದ ಪಾಲಳು ವಿಚಾರ ಮಂಥನಮಾಗಿ ಜನಿಸುಗುಂ ಸುಜ್ಞಾನ ನವನೀತಂ ಅದೇ ಸುಖದಂ ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಗಿಳಿಯುವುದು ನಿನ್ನ ಅನುಭವವೇ ನಿನಗೆ ದಾರಿದೀಪವು ಮಂಕುತಿಮ್ಮ ಅಂತ. ಇಂದಿನ ಧಾವಂತದ ಜೀವನ ಶೈಲಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂದು ಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳೇ ಇಲ್ಲದಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಶ್ರೀಗಳ ಅನುಭವದ ನವನೀತವನ್ನ ಆದರ್ಶ ಪ್ರಜ್ಞಾ ಎಂಬುವಂತಹ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ ಮಾಲಿಕೆಗಳ ಮೂಲಕ ಪಡೆಯುವಂತಹ ಸದವಕಾಶವನ್ನು ಪಡೆದಿರುವಂತಹ ನಾವೇ ಧನ್ಯರು ಎಂದು ಹೇಳುತ್ತಾ, ನನ್ನ ಪರಿಚಯದ ಭಾಷಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದರೂ ಲೋಪದೋಷಗಳಿದ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಮನ್ನಿಸಿ ಎಂದು ಪರಮ ಪೂಜ್ಯರಲ್ಲೂ ಹಾಗೂ ಶ್ರೋತೃಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಭಿನ್ನವಿಸುತ್ತಾ ಒಂದು ಗುರು ಸ್ತೋತ್ರದೊಂದಿಗೆ ನನ್ನ ಕಿರು ಪರಿಚಯದ ಭಾಷಣವನ್ನು ಮುಗಿಸ್ತಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಓಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾನಂದಂ ಪರಮಸುಖದಂ ಕೇವಲಂ ಜ್ಞಾನಮೂರ್ತಿಂ ದ್ವಂದ್ವಾತೀತಂ ಗಗನ ಸದೃಶಂ ತತ್ವಮಸ್ಯಾದಿಲಕ್ಷ್ಯಂ ಏಕಂ ನಿತ್ಯಂ ವಿಮಲಮಚಲಂ ಸರ್ವಾದಿ ಸಾಕ್ಷಿಭೂತಂ ಭಾವಾತೀತಂ ತ್ರಿಗುಣರಹಿತಂ ಸದ್ಗುರುಂ ತನ್ನಮಾಮಿ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು, ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
ಶ್ರೀ ರವಿಕಿರಣ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನು ಅರ್ಪಿಸ್ತಾ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ವರ್ಚುವಲ್ ಒಂದು ವಿಡಿಯೋನ ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ ಉದ್ಘಾಟನೆಗೋಸ್ಕರ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ತಾವು ಇದೀಗ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆಗೊಳಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ.
ಭದ್ರಂ ಕರ್ಣೇಭಿಃ ಶೃಣುಯಾಮ ದೇವಾಃ ಭದ್ರಂ ಪಶ್ಯೇಮಾಕ್ಷಭಿರ್ಯಜತ್ರಾಃ ಸ್ಥಿರೈರಂಗೈಸ್ತುಷ್ಟುವಾಗುಂಸಸ್ತನೂಭಿः ವ್ಯಶೇಮ ದೇವಹಿತಂ ಯದಾಯುಃ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಇದೀಗ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಉತ್ಸುಕರಾಗಿ ಕಾಯ್ತಾ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಕ್ಷಣ, ಪೂಜ್ಯ ಶ್ರೀ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರು ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರನ್ನು ಉದ್ದೇಶಿಸಿ ತಾವು ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಹಿತನುಡಿಗಳನ್ನ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ.
ಓಂ ಪವಿತ್ರಂ ಚರಿತಂ ಯಸ್ಯಾಹ ಪವಿತ್ರಂ ಜೀವನಂ ತಥಾ ಪವಿತ್ರತಾ ಸ್ವರೂಪಿಣ್ಯೈ ತಸ್ಯೈ ಕುರ್ಮೋ ನಮೋ ನಮಃ. ಯಾ ದೇವಿ ಸರ್ವಭೂತೇಷು ಶ್ರದ್ಧಾರೂಪೇಣ ಸಂಸ್ಥಿತ ನಮಸ್ತಸ್ಯೈ 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 ನಮೋ ನಮಃ. Salutations at the holy feet of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, Jagannmata Sri Sharada Devi, and Lokaguru Srimad Swami Vivekananda Ji Maharaj. My respects to the founder of this esteemed institution, SRN Adarsha Group of Institutions, especially Shriman Premraj Jain Ji. My respects to the present President, the Secretary, and all the board directors of the Governing Council. My love and good wishes to dynamic and principal of this institution, Dr. Prashant. My regards to Professor Purna Prajna for taking so much of pain or risk in making this program a good beginning. And my respects to all the teaching fraternity of our institution. Of course, in addition to our staff of Adarsh College, the teaching faculty, we have so many interested teachers, the parents from different parts of the state, and of course, from outside Karnataka also. My good wishes to all of you. It is really a very encouraging event, a very significant event in the history of SRN Adarsh College. I have visited the institution several times, and I have found the commitment among the teachers and our principal, of course, the leader of the team, with regard to imparting knowledge and wisdom to the children of our society. Adarsh College is one of the most disciplined, value-oriented, and an institution catering the qualitative education to the society at large. I have great respect for the institution, and it is one of the greatest hopes of our future country. We have excellent teaching fraternity here, wonderful administrative committee with a dynamic principal, and even the support of the parents is heart-touching. The very campus, the facilities they have provided, the statue of Lord Ganesha at the entrance, the cleanliness what they have maintained throughout the campus, and the beautiful auditorium, the seminar hall, they are all really very inspiring. Recently, they extended me an invitation to be a part of today's program to start Adarsh Prajna, a new YouTube channel to propagate the importance of education, the essentials of education to the people who are serving this noblest profession of teaching. Of course, I very sincerely feel that he who has opted for this profession is not only a person who deserves all appreciation, equally I sincerely feel that he has been chosen by God for this noblest profession. We may have different desires in our life to get fulfilled, but unless and until God has got his own say, we cannot succeed in our efforts. So we have very committed teachers, the teachers who have become teachers by choice, by their sincere choice, and not mere by chance. Once again, I appreciate Dr. Prashant's laudable effort in making this dream a reality by arranging this inaugural session of Adarsh Prajna program. And I feel extremely happy to be the opening batsman of this wonderful journey to deliver the inaugural address on this auspicious occasion. I feel myself very proud to say that I had a galaxy of extraordinary teachers during my schooling. Today morning in Tumkur, I was invited by my primary school, the very first teacher whom I met in my life, by name Srimati Lokamata, who taught me the alphabets in Kannada. She extended an invitation to conduct a satsang today morning. I was with my teacher for more than 2 hours, followed by this program, which is exclusively for our teachers. I was very fortunate to build up my educational career under the guidance of a galaxy of extraordinary teachers. Even today, the names of my teachers are still green in my memory. I remember Srimati Venkatalakshmamma, Srimati Venkamma teacher during my primary school days. In middle school, an extraordinary mathematics teacher by name C.V. Timmapaya, followed by my English teacher S. Suggaya, Shriman M. Nagaraj, who was teaching us Kannada, K.R. Gundappa, who was teaching us science, K.H. Gangaya, G.S. Nagesh Rao. They were all my great teachers during my middle school days. In high school, I had a very, very dynamic headmaster by name O. Hilaria, and my class teacher was an extraordinary person by name N. Ramakrishna, whom I considered as the most favorite teacher in my student career, followed by G. Parameshwarappa, my mathematics teacher, G.S. Nagalakshmi, my biology teacher, and we had such a great galaxy of teachers during my high school days that includes Narasubai, who taught me social studies in high school. This is a long journey, a great story. Later on, I remember my teachers of the National College, Basavanagudi. Professor Deshkachar was my principal. I had H.P. Padmini. I had K. Ramachar in mathematics, M.S. Venkatram, S. Balchandra Rao, and in Kantraj and Tulujappa in the Department of Biology. And we had G. Venkatnarayan in mathematics. Such a galaxy of extraordinary teachers. Professor Kannan in Sanskrit, Shirin Nedungadi, Professor Dwarkanath, Mutalik in English department. And it is a great festive atmosphere. It creates a festive atmosphere, my dear friends, to remember my own great teachers who really blessed me to be a good human being today in our beloved country. And I want to go back to the days of engineering. I had my graduation from University of Mysore in the subject electronics and communication. My principal, Professor S.T. Nagaraj, my head of the department, Madhav Kumar, my teachers like C.K. Subbaraya, Nalina, Bharati, so many great teachers, Venkatalakshmi, so many great teachers. I very reverentially remember all of them for the love, affection, and concern they showed to me all through my life as a student. So this really speaks when a sannyasi of Ramakrishna movement, when he can remember more than 50 teachers of his studenthood days, even 36 years after getting into spiritual life, remembering his own primary school teacher who taught him the alphabets 55 years back, even remembering the minutest details of the student days, that really speaks about how the teachers could influence student during his learning period. So this is really a very, very important aspect to be considered. In Gurukula system of education in ancient India, the benefits of education were very universal. Education was not just confined to getting 3 meals a day, something like that, or getting some good profession in the society and getting ourselves satisfied with a very big salary, by serving an institution or an industry. Education, the word education is a Latin word. It is derived from the word educare, which means to bring out or to draw out. I shall say this is the modern definition. But what is education according to ancient Indian rishis? Today, we are all very much convinced with the fact that more and more an individual or a society becomes strong with respect to education, then only you can be assured, rest assured, that the country is safe, the country is in the hands of strong people and the country is considered to be a strong one. That means to say, education alone can transform an individual into an institution. It can transform human into human resource. Education, according to the Upanishadic rishis, savidya ya vimuktayet, which means that learning which takes man not only away from all sorts of darkness, rather to win over all the darkness that we come across in our day-to-day life. As Vivekananda rightly mentioned in recent times, education is the only panacea for human problems. If at all, if you want to improve a nation, just concentrate the process of improving the education system of that country. So this goes a long way to understand the essence of education. As Vivekananda, a great saint of this country, who could shed light all over the world with regard to life, education, meditation, yoga, social life, spiritual life, so on and so forth. Swamiji has done marvelous research in the field of education. And it is a known fact that India could shed proper light on the wonderful virtue of education to the whole world at large. So in Indian context, education is not just graduating ourselves from a university and getting ourselves equipped to get inducted into an industry or a factory or any institution. So I request our teachers in particular to not only feel that they are fortunate to be teachers of the society, at the same time, they must realize the greatest responsibility on their shoulders. This is a great thing to be cherished very often. Every teacher of our society must feel that he is not an individual. Rather, his work is not just to prepare literates in the society, rather to prepare the human resource and gifting them to the society and country at large. Teacher must be very proud of this noble work of preparing the future citizens of the country, preparing the good human beings, preparing the human resource that is required in every aspect of the development of any country for that matter. So a teacher must have his own special psyche. He must have his own set of ideas in life. He must cater all such ideas, make them very strong and vibrant, and at any point of time, he should not be carried over by weak and very cheap attractions. Very unfortunately, today's education, as we all know, the people serving the Department of Education, they have reduced themselves, they have generalized themselves to the level of people belonging to any other department in the society. There is a beautiful dictum in English. The secret of success depends on the matter of choice. But the toughest task in anybody's life is choice. Once I determine myself to be a teacher, if that is my choice, I should never look back I should never repent with regard to my choice. I should never feel inferior in front of people serving other departments and cursing myself for choosing this profession. If at all, if you want to become a teacher, you think 1,000 times. Once you determine to become a teacher, never look back. Once you choose your profession, especially the teaching profession, please, every moment, develop some wonderful dreams of your ascending the ladder of success in your professional career. This is a must. A teacher cannot serve the society in the same way as the people belonging to other departments does. A teacher must be alert round the clock. A teacher doesn't have any private life. If at all, a teacher wants to have a private life, he must equally accept that the private life of a teacher is of public importance. Once we choose this profession, we must develop craving, longing for the process of learning continuously. A teacher is an ever student. His regular studies, his pattern of understanding new things, presenting them before the modern generation, is a great challenge before him. See, this is the reason exactly where the modern society is going wrong. To correct our own mistakes, let us have a very thorough insight about how this beautiful virtue of education has been developed from time immemorial in human history. The geographical location of any school a few hundred years back was something like a temple, was a place something like under a tree they used to teach. And even the students who could procure knowledge, who could pursue their education, sitting under a tree, listening to the words of their very simple teacher, a teacher whose life was a synonym to simplicity. Such a noble teacher, a teacher with ethics and commitment, could prepare Bharata Ratnas of future India. A village boy who did not have proper clothing, who did not have electric current in his house to study, who did not have sufficient drinking water to consume. He was the most ordinary boy in a village called Muddenahalli, sat under an electrical post in the street, very sincerely got committed to his studies, and he became a chief engineer. All through his life, serving the British government. And British government was very, very intelligent enough to make the best use of this extraordinary engineer. When you study his life, he was not in the limelight till he got retired. Of course, the greatest work he rendered in metropolitan cities of India in those days are very much recorded. But after retirement, he was invited by Hyderabad of Nizam of Hyderabad, later on by the princes, the kings of Mysore state, and he became a worldwide renowned engineer who is none other than Bharata Ratna Sir Visvesvaraya. all the difficulties what he faced as a student. It is really unimaginable to accept the fact that the difficulties he passed through happened to be the greatest raw material for his success in future years. One Visvesvaraya had so many troubles and difficulties when he was a student. Later on, when he came to power as Diwan of Mysore, he thought that the problems he faced happened to be the problems of the whole state. He solved the electricity problem of Mysore state. He solved the drinking water problem of Mysore state. He started banks. He started libraries. He became an instrument in starting Kannada Sahitya Parishad, hotel industry, iron and steel industries, sandalwood and paper industries, even in the field of preparing aircrafts. One rural boy who was most ordinary in his life became an extraordinary Bharata Ratna. And finally he says, the simple life I adopted and the way I faced the difficulties of my everyday life, that really made me a man in the truest sense. So here we can understand that simplicity is not poverty. Obedience is not slavery. At the same time, during our spiritual conferences, we make one more statement. Drowsiness is not meditation. Visvesvaraya was a very simple personality. He was very obedient to his cause. He was very obedient to his principles. You can see his 1 century long life period, never his time went astray. He never wasted time. I was in the company of one gentleman by name Veerabhadrappa, who happened to be the owner of one stationery stores in Tumkur, Shiva stores. Once he told me, Swamiji, we were in Nandi Hills to undergo NSS camp during our college days. That time, we saw Sir Visvesvaraya at the age of 98 walking for more than 1.5 kilometers every day. One personage like Sir Visvesvaraya could solve so many problems of the human race of his century. Even today, the people of Bangalore must remain grateful to Visvesvaraya because of KRS, they are getting the drinking water every day around the clock. You see the agriculture, how much it got developed in different districts of old Mysore state because of the irrigational plans that were implemented by Sir Visvesvaraya. These are all the great facts in human history, that an individual could become an institution and served the cause of national development. So let us have a bird view of how this virtue education got developed in India. According to ancient Indian rishis, the real purpose of education is individually to come out of all the different varieties of darkness and making himself an extraordinary human being by equipping himself physically, mentally, intellectually, morally, and spiritually. The holistic development, I mean, the all-inclusive development, the different facets of human development that was achieved by undergoing this wonderful process called education. The Rishi says Education is a process of continuous learning. 25% of the learning is achieved by listening to the teacher in the classroom. The second 25% is because of the hard work of the student. The third 25% is by the influence of his friends. And finally, the last 25% of the success can be achieved by gaining experience all through our life. So today's universities, they are making us literates by the time they gift us the university degree certificate. But rest of the things are to be achieved in future years. So the influence of friends, that contributes nearly 25% of learning. The influence of the teacher, the self-efforts, and ultimately the experience we gain in our life. So this really speaks about the longevity of not only our life, but also the longevity of the process of learning. Universities must cater the real need of the country. That means to say, they must produce good human beings with moral and ethical standards. And of course, in later years, they become human resource. Artego Y. Gazette, a wonderful thinker who authored a book, The History of University. He says, my dear lad, you may be a graduate in any subject, whether it is science, arts, commerce, astrophysics, technology, medicine, so on and so forth. By the time you complete your graduation, you must have some knowledge about the most important aspects. Something like the physical nature of the universe, where even an arts graduate must have the knowledge of physics and chemistry to a certain extent. He says, in addition to knowing something about the environment, every student must have the knowledge of science, philosophy, culture, and finally, religion. Now let us look at what our universities are doing. Do they really impart, other than their subjects, knowledge pertaining to the subjects what I mentioned just now? Can you make your children a true patriot, a man of culture, a man of spiritual ethics, a man of religious fervor? This is a huge question before us. But as Artego Gazette says, every graduate must have minimum knowledge about these aspects. And going back to the pages of Upanishads, where you come across the Upanishadic Rishi proclaiming like this, Yadeva Vidyaya Karoti, Shraddhaya, Upanishada, Tadeva Veeryavattaram Bhavati. Whatever task you undertake, if you can do it in the light of meditation, in the light of knowledge and wisdom, in the light of discrimination, in the light of universal outlook, Tadeva Veeryavattaram Bhavati. then only it is not only fruitful, but it can yield you more and more human qualities. Yadeva vidyaya karoti shraddhaya upanishada tadeva viryavattaram bhavati. In Subhashitas, we come across a beautiful shloka which says, Vidyanama narasya rupam adhikam prachanna guptam dhanam vidya bhogakari yashas sukhakari vidya gurunam guruhu vidya bandhujane videshagamane vidya para devata vidya rajasu pujyate natu dhanam vidya vihinaha pashuhu. Two very significant sentences are here. Number one, vidya vihinaha pashuhu. It is very, very easy to understand this sentence. Vidya vihinaha pashuhu. He who doesn't have education is a beast, is a subhuman, is a species, subhuman species, I mean. And another important message of the Subhashitakara is, it is very much connected to the life of a teacher. Vidya gurunam guruhu. Teacher is the guru for the students. But the very knowledge and wisdom what a teacher could gain by doing hard work with respect to that particular subject, that itself is his guru all through his life. Vidya gurunam guruhu. It is not something like preparing a cyclostyle notes in the beginning of my profession and repeating the same notes for a few decades. It is just imparting information to the students, but education is not for mere examination, it is for life. Education is not merely for livelihood, it is for life. That's why Swami Vivekananda says, education is information in the beginning, but this information must get transformed into knowledge, and ultimately it must yield you wisdom. That is why in the very beginning of my lecture, I told you, if at all if you want to become a teacher, be careful. You can think 1,000 times. And even then, if you wish to become a teacher, fine, we will welcome you to become a teacher. But you should know, once you adopt this wonderful profession, you should never look back. You should never measure the benefits of your profession by comparing it with people of other departments. You should never belittle yourself, never betray yourself. You should never feel yourself insulted in the midst of people belonging to different departments. A teacher should never generalize himself to the. You are the parent department. You have been entrusted to supply human resource to all different departments of the society. A teacher is the godfather. Teacher is the true mother. Teacher is the real resource center to gift the human resources according to the need of the society. He is the mind. A teacher or this Department of Education is a mine from where you will have all the elements, something like the elements what you come across in a periodic table. A teacher was chosen in the society very carefully in ancient Indian days. Yes, the parents gave birth to the organic body of their offspring. More or less, they are confined to the metabolic parentage. They started thinking very seriously that their lad must be admitted to an institution where a noble teacher can take care of their child and make this raw material a beautiful finished good after 1.5 decades. The parents of this society, they gave a serious thought for the process of choosing a teacher who happens to be the true guide for their lad. Then they were very successful in catching a personality who was physically, mentally, intellectually, morally, and ethically superior to themselves. They bow down at the holy feet of the teacher, requested him that they are admitting their lad to their institution, and they requested the teacher to take care of their lad, to make this raw material a beautiful finished good after a few years. In Bhagavad Gita, we come across a wonderful shloka, Yadyadacharati Shreshtaha Tatta Devetaro Janaha Sayat Pramanam Kurute Lokas Tadanu Vartate. The elders in the society will set an example for the younger generation to follow. The elders will act like the torch bearers, and naturally the younger generation will follow the elders of the society. So in recent times, a teacher was honored in a very unique way by a very great intellect by name, Joy Elmer Morgan. He describes the excellent personality of a teacher. He says, the teacher is a prophet. The first very healthy comment Mr. Morgan is doing is, he says, the teacher is a prophet because teacher can lay the foundation of tomorrow. So what will be the tomorrow of this lad? To prepare the building called tomorrow, the teacher is building the basement of the life of the lad today. That is why, since my teacher lays the foundation of tomorrow, he is very affectionately and respectably called as a prophet. Number two, the teacher is an artist. He works with the precious clay of unfolding personality. The children admitted to the school can be compared to precious clay, the clay that is really eligible for preparing the statues and idols out of that. So, my teacher works with the precious clay of unfolding personality. That's why my teacher is an artist. Number 3, the teacher is a builder. Builder is a word which is very popular nowadays in the modern world. It doesn't mean that a teacher is a real estate owner. A teacher is engaged in selling the sites. It's not an astonishing factor to know that nowadays, since the teacher has reduced his profession very much, he has diluted. Today, more or less, his commitment and association in the society to the children, to the institution, and to the society at large, it has gone down. Very unfortunate to make this statement. Today, he has become a partially committed man for a full payment profession. He works like a part-time worker for a full-time payment. He doesn't know his children by name. He is not in a position to understand the psyche of his children. Just he works like a machine. He will dictate some notes. Invariably, he will make a mark of which are the important questions for this year. And even though the concept is very important, he says, this question appeared last year, and this year this is not important. He openly says, my dear teachers, you are teachers who are entrusted with the responsibility of making our children to know most important matters pertaining to knowledge and information. You need not mark important questions for this academic examination. That is not at all expected from you. Is there any meaning a teacher working with a partial mind for a full-time salary? When he cannot study properly, when he himself cannot involve himself in enriching his knowledge, how can he does justice to the society? Please. That is why I repeatedly told you, the profession of teaching must be a matter of choice always, and never by chance. We never blame any people for that matter. Our sincere request is, if you want to become any big person in the society, any recognized profession you want to acquire, we welcome you. But if you want to become a teacher, you must be extra careful, because after choosing this wonderful profession, if you cannot do justice, do you know what an amount of great damage you are creating to the society? Please, this serious thought must be there always in the minds of the teachers. A teacher is a builder. How can you say a teacher is a builder? He works with the highest and finer values of civilization. Civilization expects something from him, something genuine. For the civilization to survive, for the culture to accelerate, the role of a teacher plays a vital, truly, it is very vital. So, He is considered as a builder because he works with higher and finer values of civilization. Number 4, the teacher is a friend. Teacher is a friend. His heart responds to the faith and devotion of the students at large. A teacher finds interest in the faith shown by his children, and he sincerely believes the devotion of the children. Since his response to the faith and devotion of the children is significant, he is considered to be the best friend of his pupils. The best friend of students is none other than their own teacher. Number 5, the teacher is a citizen. He is a very prominent citizen, I mean. How is that? He is selected and licensed for improvement of the society. The whole society has chosen a teacher and they have given license to him so that he will be a great personality in the process of improving the society. Number 6, the teacher is a pioneer. He is always attempting the impossible and winning out. You have the complaints from the parents, from the people of the society. They will talk all nonsense about a child of their family. They come to the school, they complain about their own child to the teacher. Sir, you please control him. He is disobedient and he is not punctual. He is indisciplined in the house. See, these are all the complaints from the people who gave birth to the child. The nearest and dearest people of the child are complaining about the same child to the teachers of the school. They say, don't believe him. He is a cheat. He is not serious about his studies. He is a big problem in our house. And he is spoiling the good atmosphere of our house. Sir, please protect us. Take care of our lad. And do a little at least what best you can do. And you just imagine the person about whom they are complaining is their own product. Their own product. See how helpless many a time the elders and the parents of the family become. They really become helpless. They are certifying their own products as useless, indisciplined, not sincere, so on and so forth. You just imagine what a great task is before a teacher to accept such raw material and fight for improving the condition of the raw material. That's why a teacher is highly respected as a proud citizen, a great pioneer. And whatever is impossible for the parents and the elders of the family will become possible for a teacher. That is why he is called a pioneer. And finally, a teacher is a believer. A teacher is a believer because he has abiding faith in the improvability of the society. A teacher is a true believer because he has got greatest faith in the process of improving the society. These are all the things that really reveals out what an amount of responsibility a teacher is interested with. When you study the history of civilization, you will understand the noblest fact that every individual, by getting education, will become a bridge in between three civilizations. Every student is expected to learn about the previous civilization. He will fight in the contemporary civilization, the current civilization, I mean. Ultimately, he will contribute to the future civilization. So, education helps an individual to become a bridge in between three different civilizations: the previous, the contemporary, and the future civilizations, I mean. So, education, according to Swami Vivekananda, is the only panacea for all human problems. What does it mean? Education will bring very positive changes in every aspect of life in an individual. In recent times, Swami Vivekananda said, we want that type of education. We want that type of education by which character is formed, strength of the mind is increased, intellect is expanded, and by which one can stand on one's own feet. If you can achieve these four most important aspects out of education, we can come to a conclusion that an individual is very good, developed in a very good way, and ultimately he is contributing his might for the betterment of the society at large. After touring all along the length and breadth of the country, his motherland, I mean, after touring in the Western countries, even with his experience with Eastern countries like China, Japan, Swami Vivekananda, almost 55 years before our independence, he made it very clear that unless and until we improve ourselves with respect to the aspect of education, what a great amount of the social reformations you may opt for will not make the country a strong one. Cannot fetch solution for all the problems of an individual, I mean. That is why Vivekananda did a revolution in the field of education and philosophy. He says, we want that type of education by which character is formed, by which strength of the mind is improved, intellect is expanded, and by which one can stand on one's own feet. These are all the four most important aspects to develop the human resource in human society. And he says, I want people with muscles of iron, nerves of steel, intellect like electric current, and they must be very sincere to their backbone. With 100 such people, I shall bring a revolution in human history, human society. So here also, if at all, if you want to make a man truly educated, Vivekananda demands for these four aspects: muscles of iron, nerves of steel, intellect like electric current, and you must be very sincere to your backbone. The purpose of education is to prepare human resource with these four most important aspects. And all our teachers, I request all of you that you must set an example to your lads to get prepared to become so. The impact of parents and teachers will be more on the minds of the children, the upcoming children. We must never ignore our role, the most responsible role as elders in our society. Culture, as we all know, is connected with the values the country has developed from time immemorial. The culture, the cultural values are more or less the moral and ethical values of the society. It is called samskara, samskruti in Sanskrit. Our desire to acquire more knowledge and become more potential shall be appreciated. But what is exactly the moral, ethical, and cultural fabric for our life is, as Vivekananda said, it is more honorable to accept the defeat in the right path than trying for success through wrong means. As we all know, youth is the time I mean, when our children are in the pink of their health. They should never be taught laziness, parasitic life, just sitting in the house, getting a few thousand rupees every month. A youth should never feel himself in a pitiable condition. Sympathy and pity can never be the permanent solutions for our problems. We must move from minute to minute. Every minute, we must get transformed. We must feel very happy about our own achievements and success, morally and ethically. So this is a very great responsibility on the shoulders of our teachers. We must dream all such virtues. F.W. Roosevelt, a great thinker from the West, he says, we cannot always build the future for our young, but we can build our youth for the future. Prepare the young for the future. Equip them to a very great extent so that they will manage, face all the shocks, the obstacles that may come in the way in future years. If the human race is to survive, we must subordinate the national pride to international thought. This is the utterance of another great personality. We come across Plato, Socrates, Aristotle, Confucius, so on and so forth, a galaxy of great philosophers. We must keep in our mind that all these philosophers, in their message, we find the traces, the major ideas of such philosophers was from Upanishads. This really speaks about how rich our culture was since several thousand years. Every teacher of our society must very respectfully study the great history of this country. A history which is not prepared by the pathetic minds, the lunatics, the prejudiced minds, so on and so forth. Swami Vivekananda very much insisted our educateds in this matter. India must prepare its own history, and the history of India should be rewritten, and that task must be taken up by Indians. When you study the history, on one side, you are very much astonished to see the great discoveries of our ancient scientists in human history. On the other side, we say our knowledge about physics is very, very minimal. We don't know proper science. We don't have scientific temperament. The Westerners are very much advanced because they are scientifically very strong, so on and so forth. My dear teachers, you please cultivate the habit of reading at least for 2 to 3 hours every day, every day. You must know the current affairs. You must thoroughly equip your knowledge so that the way you present the things in the classroom must become an object of adoration, attraction, an influence to the children who are listening to you every day. They believe you. They respect you. They sincerely want to acquire knowledge and wisdom from you. And now it is the huge task on your shoulders to see that you will be equipped and ultimately you are imparting knowledge and wisdom to your children. The role of schools is really very significant. Every teacher, because of his ethics and hard work, must become a synonym to the subject what he is teaching in his institution. Vidya Gurunam Guruhu. You should never forget. Every day, you please inculcate yourself in studying in a very versatile way and acquiring knowledge every day so that the next day when you stand in front of the children, they will be very much eager to know more and more new things from you. You are the true dictionary to your children. You are the true reference text pertaining to that subject to your children. The children believe you very much, and it is ultimately your own responsibility to pat on their back and encourage them to develop affection, love, and commitment towards hard work. If you can sincerely do this, you are the true nation builder in the truest sense, I mean, and you will be the Vikti Ratna, a personage which is great in its services in nation building aspect. My dear teachers, see, I could shed some light pertaining to the ancient education system, the modern education system also. A teacher is a Gupta Muni in Sanskrit. He is a sage. He is a true sage. He is a tapasvi. His tapasya is to earn knowledge and wisdom. He should not prepare children only for the examination aspect, just by hearting some answers, thoroughly writing those theoretical answers and getting through the exams. That's not suffice. As Vivekananda said, education is information in the first stage, knowledge in the second stage, and ultimately wisdom finally. Education is man-making. Man-making means character building. And it is through character building we can build the nation. I request every teacher to have at least 500 books pertaining to different subjects. You should procure 500 books, have a small library in your house, and any new book that is released in the society must find its worthy place in the almirah of a teacher first. If a teacher can sit for 15 to 20 minutes in the college library, all his favorite students will assemble. They will also sit with him. At least for a few minutes, they will go through the books, and thereby you can impart this beautiful habit of study in libraries. You can make your children to refer different books to acquire knowledge in the required quantity. So a teacher is an honorable man. He is highly respected in the society because he is the true builder of the nation, and he need not build lifeless buildings. Rather, he is building the human resource. That's why a teacher should never get upset. He should not be belittled. He should not be discouraged. And he should not get himself confined only to prepare the children for the academic pursuits, rather than preparing the human resource is the highest task before him. That is why it is said, start a good school today, thereby you can reduce, you can avoid 100 jails tomorrow. So these are all the most important aspects we must very sincerely think over and feel proud that you are a teacher. That too, you are a teacher in a very esteemed institution. A teacher who does his job sincerely will be honored by one and all in the institution. And he has got a band of very young packets of energy who will not only listen to him and who will bring all his dreams true. And what else is expected out of them by a teacher? My dear teachers, please be very sincere. Every step of your life becomes the true path for your children to follow in future years. That's why Shri Krishna warned in Gita, Yadyadacharati Shreshtaha Tatta Devetaro Janaha Sayat Pramanam Kurute Lokas Tadan Vartate. The world will follow the elders of the society. and their lives will become the greatest model, the mirror to look into our own image. The elders will be like a mirror. So, rest of the things you can introspect, and by studying different books, you can acquire more and more knowledge. And once you develop the taste of learning, the taste of studying, once you start acquiring new things, it will fortify your interest of studying different books, and ultimately your knowledge level will get enhanced, it gets accelerated. Then you will run shortage of time to even concentrate more for your studies, contribute more time for your studies. So this wonderful pattern of the learning process is really very enjoyable, and we acquire more and more knowledge out of that. So I sincerely request our teachers to develop yourselves into a human resource and shed light on the lives of our children, the future of our country, so that the country can be developed as a country of knowledge and wisdom in future years. If you get 100% in your subject in an academic examination, that is just a byproduct of your hard work, my dear teachers. But the real product is, can you create more interest in the minds of the children so that they should not only feel that they should also become teachers in future years, but also they must pursue their subject, pursue their studies in that particular subject of their own interest because of your influence. If you teach mathematics, they not only should score 100 out of 100 in mathematics, they must opt mathematics as their future subject to pursue, and their names must become synonym to the word mathematics. So like that, teachers have a vital role to play. Here you are not only imparting knowledge and wisdom, ultimately you are making the country to get equipped with people of educational strength, a country where you have the citizens who are blessed with educational strength will be the safest country, the strongest country, I mean. So I thank our management for extending me an invitation today to inaugurate our Adarsh Prajna, the new YouTube channel, to cater the educational needs of our teachers and students at large. I thank all our teachers, the parents and students who have shown interest in this wonderful program. I thank them all. Once again, I thank our institution for extending me an invitation to be a part of this inaugural session. Thank you one and all. Jai Ram Krishna. May the YouTube provide our society a laudable amount of knowledge and wisdom so that the society can have the improvement in the most positive sense. Thank you very much. Jai Ram Krishna.
Thank you very much, Swamiji, for your enlightening words and responsibilities and duties of all teachers. Wonderful, and definitely I felt last 1 hour was we were somewhere else rather than in front of our screens. Few questions. If anybody is having any questions to Swamiji, I request all of you to please type in chat box.
Please.
Chat box. You can type in the chat box. Even from the YouTube also, we are going to pick some questions. If you have any questions, please do type in the chat box. Before that, Swamiji, I have one question here. Is the development of technology affected learning?
Yes. Actually, even though I don't blame technology, many people wants to they want to concentrate the shortcut methods to come to the conclusions of their learning. Technology, it really speeds up. It will accelerate, no doubt in it. But the research process, the phenomenon of research, what we had in the early decades and of course for the past several centuries, that very thorough process of the phenomenal research aspect, now it is very much missing. You just imagine everybody wants to become a technical engineering graduate, and very unfortunately, many reputed colleges giving education in the field of BSc, physics, chemistry, mathematics, biology, now they are closing the institutions because they don't have admissions. Education is not something like completing one task within 5 months or 6 months, what generally used to take one year earlier, and getting a job and making ourselves equipped financially, making ourselves secure. No, no. The very purpose of education is to earn knowledge and wisdom. Technology has got quite a good number of advantages, but at the same time, too much of technology, I think it has made the people not to go in depth with respect to the research work, I mean. But on the other side, I sincerely accept that technology has contributed its might. But with regard to research work, this, I have my own reservation.
Thank you, Swamiji. Any other questions from the audience? If you are going to type, otherwise. The second question is, of course, you have answered that there is an uncertain future. So how to prepare our students or adopt for such an uncertain future? That's going to be
Why do you say so?
question.
Why do you say uncertain future?
No, that is the question what I have got. Because of the technology they're asking, there is an uncertain future because of
See,
AI.
I mentioned about Roosevelt's words.
Yes.
We cannot always build the future for our young, but we can build our young for the future. The task before us is to prepare our people morally and ethically very strong. He who is morally and ethically strong, he who believes that it is more honorable to accept the defeat in the right path than trying for success through wrong means, can face any circumstance, any trouble, any obstacle in his path of success, in his journey of acquiring the success. Never feel that our future is uncertain. We must be a very good human resource that will help you to face any amount of difficulties, any pattern of difficulties in future years, and you will come out with successful results.
Thank you, Swamiji. I think no more questions are there. If any questions are there, we can definitely post you so that we can get some answers. These days, students find it difficult to sit in classroom sessions after COVID era. Any tips from Nirmala K, Assistant Professor?
I was discussing about this matter today morning also. Yes, so much of very huge difference you come across among the students in the pre-COVID and post-COVID time. And here, and of course, that was a very great time, a tough time to survive itself. We have survived. God has let us to continue our life. I think we have a purpose behind. That's why He has saved us. I sincerely believe that. But because of very easy promotions in the schools and colleges, I mean to say, without examinations, they were promoted. Even they did not study for 2-3 years. And that was unavoidable, I know. But at the same time, we must not take it as a blessing or something like a boon, something like that. What all the things we were expected to study, somewhere with our mindset, we must determine to know what all the things that are being expected by others to know from us. And that is a must. That is a must. But now, very unfortunately, we are not serious about what we have lost because of COVID problem. But we should not have relaxation or some concession in learning. There should never be any concession in learning. See, the examination pattern is out of 10. But the question of life, the question of knowledge and wisdom this philosophy demands you to say that I know answers for all the 10 questions. My dear teacher, you please choose any 6 out of that. All the 10 questions are very important. Even though if I don't know answer for 4 questions and I know only for 6 questions, then only I'll get 100 out of 100. That will never come in my way of scoring. But the thing is, we must know the entire subject. And nowadays it is very unfortunate, Prashant, to make a mention of this. In universities, because I am very much connected with the NAC, I served the department of NAC, delivering 10 lectures. Education, the Panacea was the title of the subject. I delivered 10 lectures in NAC institution, speaking about the 7 criteria propounded by NAC. I am in touch with many of the universities here in Karnataka. Whenever there is a meeting with regard to the academic council, the teachers, I don't know why they put forth this proposal. Sir, this syllabus is very huge. It becomes a burden for the students to study so much. Let us reduce the syllabus and make it very small. I doubt whether it is a burden for students or teachers. With regard to the quantity of things to be studied, a teacher should never say it is a burden to the students. A teacher is there to reduce the burden, not with respect to reducing the syllabus. If a teacher is truly equipped, the study material can never become a burden to his pupils. And even I have my own reservation with regard to technical education. Today, out of 100 marks, 50 internal marks in engineering course, just 50 marks for the external exams. And of course, they put forth so many reasons. At every point of time, we check the children. We conduct 5 exams. Every point, unless and until he gets prepared, he will not be promoted to take the second test. They put forth all such conditions. But sincerely telling, as my knowledge goes, see, 50 marks for internal tests, it is debatable. A few institutions may sincerely conduct, they may be very strict in this matter, but unfortunately, majority of the institutions will give free marks as far as this internal portion is concerned. And students have to appear for 50 marks in the external exams. It must be 80 plus 20 at the most. 80 external marks, coupled with amalgamated with 20 internal marks, then only the students will study properly. Then only you will have the teachers discharging their duties sincerely and properly like this. You have so many problems with respect to the universities. Very unfortunate. They want to reduce the syllabus. They want to make 50 marks internal and 50 marks external. These are all the things that speaks very bad about the future. We cannot prepare our children morally, ethically strong, and they can very rarely become people with knowledge and wisdom. Hard work should be the character of every young man and women when they are pursuing their education. Do we really encourage them to work hard? As students, as youngsters, they must work hard. 50 marks, internal marks in technical education, what does it speak? But the whole system is keeping quiet. That's why you have most ordinary engineering graduates coming out of universities. They cannot compete with people with knowledge and wisdom. They can easily get passing marks and get promoted. Just imagine the last rank holder in CET after second PUC will have a seat for engineering in one of the colleges of the state. And a person who was failed in April for annual exams reappear in supplementary June exams, and in July he can get admission to any engineering course. How much dilution has taken place? Just imagine. This has really spoiled the total education system of the country. The word hard work has gone out of the dictionary. Very easy going, very comfortable zone, and very safety zone everybody is preferring to have. And unavoidable circumstances of COVID, I do agree. But the point is, we should not take it as a boon that even without studying we got promoted. At some point of time, the Department of Education must have a serious thought about making the children to know every minutest detail what was expected to know about. Are we very sincere about that? What has happened to the recent SSLC results of Karnataka state? The moment I heard it is 51% in the beginning, I was the happiest man. But later on it became 74. What does it mean? What does it speak? Quality, we are losing quality. Please.
Thank you, Swamiji. Thank you, everyone. First of all, I would like to once again thank Swamiji for your time. Namaste. And also, I would like to thank Pradeep, who coordinated with us from Ashrama. I would like to thank him also. I'd like to thank our management, Honorable President and Secretary, sir. I'd like to thank Prashant and all the teammates. I'd like to thank everyone who supported directly and indirectly for the successful of this one. And also the viewers in Zoom as well as in YouTube. I'd like to thank everyone. I'm just posting the feedback link for you. Please do fill the feedback form, and you're also going to get certificates for the same. I'd like to thank once again. Thank you very much. And please do join for the next session also in the coming days. Thank you very much. Thank you. Swamiji, namaste.
Namaste, Pa. Namaste.
Principal, sir.